It's such an interesting process of seeing where this problem takes you. Train yourself to see the world as an imperfect place. And I don't mean solving these global problems, like don't try and cure malaria, or look at something that you know really well, that you bump into every single day as you're either promoting your business or working with your family. Okay, so the story is about this job I had 40 years ago, and I was a house painter. This is during my university years, and different world, obviously. No technology whatsoever. And back then, when you would buy paint, it came in those cans.
I remember. Yeah, my parents used to paint
with a lid on it and that kind of stuff. And that was fine. And now, 40 years later, I go to paint, and paint still comes in that stupid can. And it's lame because first of all, it requires a screwdriver to open it, right? And then when you pour it, it all drips down the side of the can and it fills up the little limb, and you got to stir it with a stick, and then you got to paint, and you spill paint all over you, and it's just the most disastrous experience.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when you got to close the can, you put a hammer on it. I mean, it's ridiculous. But what happens is, if you're picturing, as I'm talking this about painting, and you're imagining painting, and you're going, yeah, that paint can sucks. Some people go, that's stupid. Why don't they sell paint like in a milk jug? Or even better, like the kind that you put detergent in, the detergent comes in, or where it sits on a counter with a little spout that it all pours out from. Or why isn't there an aftermarket lid? Or why isn't there a magnetic stir? But people automatically begin filling in these blanks. And it's a story that happened to me. That it's an amazing thing when people begin looking at the frustrations in their life without even thinking about it, these ideas pop into their head. And it's coming back to focusing on the problem.
Yes.
Because the problem will never get stale. Absolutely. And so much of what happened at Netflix was just bumping into one problem after another. And as soon as you solve one, well, lo and behold, there's a new one.
Yes.
And it's why being an entrepreneur is such an amazingly exciting business, because it's perpetual.
Yeah. And I just want to point out to everyone who's listening or watching right now, what Marc said there was really powerful, because not only is Marc talking about finding the problem, which you may have heard before, you may be thinking about before, but something he specifically said, it was like trying to solve a problem that you know well. And I thought that was a really powerful point, because I think sometimes we can get lost in problems that we actually are very distant from and don't deeply understand and have no familiarity with. And I think we are better at coming up with solutions for things we are very familiar with.
Yeah, you started off by saying that you might have an idea, but you're not sure how it fits into real life, or how even the problem fits into real world. But you figure those things out by actually starting to try and solve them.
Yeah.
And they take you places. It is absolutely a follow where it goes. It's a murder mystery. It's a crossword puzzle. It's a jigsaw puzzle. It's such an interesting process of seeing where this problem takes you.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold, sometimes it goes into an area and you go, well, I'm solving a problem for 7 people. And you go, okay, that's not viable.
Yeah.
Fine. But sometimes, lo and behold, you stumble onto something that everybody wants. And that's luck, and that's okay too. Thanks for watching. And if you liked what you saw, I'd love you to subscribe. And if you want to be notified of my future releases, well, you know the drill. Just hit the bell.